Hi again then guys, and welcome to yet another speed build for Forza Horizon 4, of course. This time a very highly requested car, the Koenigsegg One-to-One. For obvious reasons, people expect it to be the ultimate Koenigsegg in the game. I would actually say though, before we even get into the tune, I would not recommend buying this car. If you happen to win it, then of course tune it and have fun with it, but the Agera RS, the CC8S, even the Regera are better cars than this is. The main advantage of the One-to-One is that it has such a good mix of acceleration and grip. Because of course it's an exercise in downforce as well, and stability, so the top speed is actually not as good as you'd think. Now if you want to grab this tune without having to do it yourself, because I know some people seem to have trouble with knowing what upgrades to do, even though I literally say the same thing every time, just fit all of the racing parts. If you don't want to do that, and if you want to just get it on there yourself, use the keywords down in the video description below to grab this tune straight from my storefront. So HSG, Hammer Studios Gaming, that kind of stuff, you should be able to find it pretty easily, and it is in the title of the tune as well. Now, as you can see from the benchmark, slow it is not, it's just slower than some of the other Koenigsegg's. It's a good 12 or 13 miles per hour off the pace of the Agera RS, which is a pretty big difference. Now, as far as acceleration though, with all-wheel drive, which is what I've got on this one, you've got 1.5 to 60 and 2.6 to 100 times, which are both very good. And as I said, the grip and the downforce are incredible on this car. Now, as far as the gearbox, of course, fairly similar to what I would often do with a car like this. So the final drive is 3.1, and then for the individual gears, we've got 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.95 and 0.75. Then as far as alignment, if you do choose to leave it rear-wheel drive, then of course you might want to change the camber, for instance, but in this form, you don't really need any. The all-wheel drive gives you so much grip and stability anyway, that it pretty much just does the job for you. Now, as far as the caster goes, that is neutral. For the anti-roll, we've got those on 35 and 25. The springs are on 115 and 160, as you can see, with the lowest ride height you can get. As far as dampers, they are on 10, 14, 5 and 6. The aero is as low as it can go, and as far as the diff, I've opted for the highest settings for both acceleration and deceleration, which you might think makes it too heavy through corners, but I would say it's actually pretty much perfect. It's very controlled. And the best thing about the car is the cornering ability, compared to many of the other Koenigsegg's. As far as the centre split, I've got 70%, which is a little bit less toward the back than you might think. You could take that higher if you want, 75, even 80. But any higher than that, and you're basically starting to neutralise the whole point of having all-wheel drive in the first place. So if you want to do it yourself, that's what you need to do. As I said, all of the racing parts, don't bother with the wings. You can change the rims if you want to, and make sure that you do have all-wheel drive for the best all-round performance. If you want to get it from my storefront though, as I said, you can easily do that as well. But now, of course, what you want to see is this car in a race actually showing what it can do. Now, as you'll see in this event, the top speed is definitely not slow. It can easily do 271 as the benchmark indicates, but due to the downforce, which is a lot higher than many other Koenigsegg models, the fact that it's not necessarily designed as much for top speed as many people think, it's more as like an ultimate all-round Koenigsegg, it's not the best for top speed, so don't expect that from the car and you won't be disappointed. However, if you do want a Koenigsegg that can take on more kind of the hardcore track variants of cars like your Zonda Rs and your F50 GTs, then this is more the car for you. So really it does depend on what kind of Koenigsegg you want. If you're purely looking for what most people want though, which of course is straight line power and speed, then you'd be much better off going for an Agera RS or even a CC8S, the older one, which is significantly quicker than you'd think with the engine swap. So overall, that's it for this tune. Of course, check out my storefront in the game. I've got 40,000 tune downloads on there now, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.